by things I see in television and movies still. So it never changes, never changes.
Wait, so you're telling me, all right, so you're able to just have your pick of any car on the lot. You just take any one you want home with you at any time.
I do. So like I said, being in the business, and I say it's one of those things where it's like a nice perk of the position, but the company makes me earn it all the time. So it's very convenient. It's a lot of fun if you're into cars. And listen, I'm just going to say, look, love and respect to everybody on the Monday night show, right, on ETR. But with Matt leaving, there are no car guys in that group. And anytime they talk, I hear them talking about Kias and this and the Eagle Town, and I just want to poke myself in the ear because I'm like, you guys just stop. That's not your forte. You guys might as well be talking about sports, But it's pretty neat. I put a picture up of it, when I swap them out sometimes just for fun. And, the connecting piece, man, I had like, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 people comment and post pictures of their cars and stuff. So it's just neat, again, seeing the community that it's not always about the toys.
Man, I got a Corolla.
We do have other interests, so that's cool.
I think that's dope, G. If it was me, I'd be fucking switching up a car every other week, or as often as I could,
Well, and I'll just say this, and we can kind of kick things off, but the certain cars, how you think that car attracts a certain personality, right, or a certain driver, good or bad, right? A demographic, an age group, a sex, whatever it is. Some of those are true, right? You see a certain car and it's like, oh, if I'm behind a Subaru and it has a coexist sticker on the bumper, what I mean? Like, I know that they're, you kind of know what that driver is going to be like.
So Gary, are you saying all Italians own Audis?
Well, it's like, look, I go to New Jersey. Everyone likes Cadillacs, right? I visit Dave in Long Island. I look around. No, but I just kind of laugh. I'm like, so I'm in a V8 Mustang, 6-speed. I'm like, suddenly I feel kind of like a douche. I don't know.
When you own a Mustang.
Dude, I see that, Gary. I thought you'd be used to that feeling by now.
Absolutely not, right?
when you see that hatchback Civic with the hocked up engine sounding, it's a Puerto Rican in the car, right? 9 out of 10 times, Spanish guy in the car.
Oh, that's funny.
You said it, Dave. You're the one that said it, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. I did not say it.
All right, I can say it. I'm allowed.
That's right. You're allowed.
Oh man, that's so funny. That's a nice perk of the job, though. You know what I'm saying?
But
yeah, like
it is.
You earn
it's
it,
cool.
So.
But like I said, it's also the little things. I mean, it's just anything that makes the drive a little bit better, a little bit more fun. I'll take it. Yeah, celebrate the little stuff, right?
You got to, man. All right. Well, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to episode 4 of Breaking the Mold, the newest podcast coming at you each and every single week here on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. If audio is your preferred platform, you can find us on iTunes and Google Play through Podcast Addict. If you do so, please subscribe, leave a 5-star review, as it will really help the show out. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Shout out to everybody out there in the realm. We actually hit our 1K goal this past Saturday. We thank you. What I'm saying? YouTube changing the rules on us, and the realm came out in full force, hit that subscribe button, and got us over that 1K hump, and we appreciate it. Check out the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel for details on a giveaway for the 1,000 subscribers. We really appreciate the love and support from everybody in the community. If you're watching on YouTube, please chat below. You have an opportunity to win a giveaway. This is the week 4 giveaway, and we will be giving a special prize away at the end of this live stream, as well as shouting out everybody else in the chat. So please hop in, say hello, and hang out with the rest of the crew. So let's say what's up to everybody. First up, Energon Addict. How are you tonight, brother? What's going on?
Dude, you just cut out. Who did you announce?
Energon Addict. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say your name twice, because every time I say your name, the shit pops. I don't know, it goes silent. What's up, Pop? What's going on?
What's good? Happy Tuesday. I'm here, boys.
Happy Tuesday, man.
Good to see you, Dave.
The Analyzer, Brian Brank.
Yo.
What's popping?
I'll tell you what's popping. These
Wow.
shelves are starting to fucking pop. That's right. I got tired of looking at Transformers over here. Get my primes up. I just brought down like 7 boxes from upstairs. I can get.
Brian, you know what I'm noticing?
Brian, are you an Optimus Prime fan or a communist?
I don't like to wear name brand clothes, so I don't know.
But you know what I'm noticing on those shelves, Brian?
What's that? Tom?
I think I see that Voltron up there, right?
Son of a bitch. Let it go.
Hey,
Everybody drink.
Not so joking.
Yep.
Voltron, magic word.
Can't get
Drink,
one show in.
drink.
It's one you can still buy, Gary. Strike while the iron's hot.
A whopping 6 minutes in. Here we go.
Big Dom, what's up, brother? What's going on?
What's up, guys? What's up? Glad to be here tonight. Glad to be here.
You
Awesome to have you, brother. Extra Zero, what's poppin'?
TGIT, my fellas. I'm glad to be here. We're on the Realm's favorite Voltron podcast. But yeah, nice to see everybody again. Amped for the show. So
Awesome, man. I hope everybody got their
is your
shot
mic plugged
glasses
in?
ready tonight, man.
I don't think your mic's plugged in.
me?
Yeah.
Sounded a little low.
No, I'm on a different. I'm on my work laptop. My Windows updates are going crazy right now.
Gotcha.
That IT life. All right, G Money, what's up?
Well, I'll say I was excited to see all you guys until, everything started all over again. I'm having
V
deja
word.
vu for the last 6 Tuesdays in a row. No, it's awesome to be here. It's awesome to be here tonight.
Oh, sweet. All right, JD, how you doing, bro?
What's up, people? How we doing?
What's up, JD?
Yeah.
Good
we're
to
here.
see you. Good to see you. Happy
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. 1,000 people and climbing, huh?
Oh, that's fucking awesome, man. Thank
That
you.
is
again,
fucking
to
dope.
everybody out. That's incredible. All right, let's run it back real quick for some collect and connect. And then you know what? I'm going to switch it up. JD, I'll start with you.
Oh,
First.
Boy, what did I get? I didn't get much.
What? I don't need a laundry list. Just give me a fucking favorite, bro.
All right,
one.
my favorite. Shit.
I'm having fun with you guys tonight, man. I don't know. I'm gonna get loose.
I've been messing with this Iron Factory Bruticus, so I'm gonna go with that. I mean, I still need the arms, of course, but
Gotta give him a lot of hugs.
You got the chance to mess with it and stuff. What do you think?
yeah. I mean, he's fun. He's fun. I broke my rule and combined them before I had the rest of the parts because I'm a dummy.
Nah.
Well,
You do what you want, man. You do what you want.
This is true. Other than that, I didn't really get a whole lot. Took a trip to Hobby Lobby and got some stuff for building some dios, but that's a story for a different.
did you get some baskets?
episode. Yeah, I got some baskets. Yeah, got some. Yep.
Little potpourri.
Yeah, some poopery. Yep. Okay. It's all set.
Sweet, man. Any
But,
connections in the room? Connections in the room this week? Besides us, of course.
No. Just
Nice.
more of my ass with the bed. That's about it.
Nice, man. Well, nice.
But if
Gotta
you
take
wanna,
care of yourself, brother.
Yeah. We're doing. Yeah, if you want to find me in the Facebook groups, JD Brocious, Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live. Here with these fools on Breaking the Mold Tuesday nights and every other Thursday on Figga Bangin'. New episode next week.
Yes. Next week, baby. And that's on Thursday nights.
And
Thursday
I'll be back.
I wasn't a good substitute.
All right. Let's keep it random. Big Dom, you're next.
What's good? I did get a lot of stuff. It's in a BBTS box over there that I haven't opened up in my dining room. So it's going to sit there. Mostly it's Mezco, all the crap that came out in December, because I guess they just said, you know what? Obviously, people have money in December, and let's just dump everything in December and load it up. And I think they dropped within December, they dropped 4 figures in December. It's ridiculous.
Just say they dropped the big load.
Yeah, they dropped the big load.
Oh boy! Yeah. All right.
He's back.
Don't get mad, Dave. Don't get mad. Don't get mad that I got action, Dave. My collecting connect is I hit up my local friend here. He was looking for an Overlord, and I had one available because those things are hard to find, I guess, these days, and was able to hook him up with an Overlord because he was looking for one.
Oh, sweet!
So,
Nice.
Shout out to Anton. Thanks, buddy. If he's he's an old friend, and we go way back. So he hit me up last week, and he was wondering if I was able just chatted up, just wanted to see what I was up to and see if I was still collecting toys. And I said, yeah, of course. And he asked me if I had an Overlord, and I said, of course I have an Overlord for you. So
Realm.
I helped him out, and I shouted out the Realm. I told him, we do a podcast, and hopefully, he joins the group and has a good time.
Cool.
But out for you guys out there, better call a friend, get them in that chat, because I got the giveaway, and it's going to be great. So
Dominic's fucking around.
Call your friends.
Oh man,
I'm
now I gotta
gonna
make a meme.
I'm just going to give a little hint.
Make
If you're a gamer,
giveaways great again.
if you're a gamer, you better get on the chat.
What are you rubbing it in my face now? Is this like
You can't win.
Dom's giveaway
I
is someone
can't
else's
win.
grail.
Yes. And
and Dami,
you can.
playing. He gave us the laundry list of
I
giveaway
got a couple
stuff,
things. So the guys chose it. So I wanted to go the gaming route. So for you gamers out there, get in the chat and you'll enjoy it.
Whoever wins, I hate you.
Other than that,
I'm just kidding.
You can reach me at in Dominic Rosso on the Facebook pages, and that's about it. That's where I stay.
All right, sweet. All right, next up, the analyzer, Brian Brink.
Yo, what's up, people? Just gonna go straight into the connect segment. I had a lot of connecting. I had the giant Chris Pinkerton come visit me. Yeah, he was in town in the area.
I thought he was going to say cock.
And he and he brought me a prototype from a lighting rig I'm going to use for these shelves. I've been screwing around with that, so I'm pretty excited. I'm going to be giving a lot of business to Crashbox if this all pans out. And also, I want to shout out to Chuck. I invited him to a hangout Sunday night because y'all went to bed early, bunch of early birds. And we chatted while I was putting primes on a shelf. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is, like, I'm going in the bins and I'm like, some of these are not good, right? But then when you get them all up there, it's like, oh, now I remember why I do this. Yeah. And then also, I posted a question in the ROC group this week as far as bottom shelf bitches and things like that. And I was really, really blown away with all the feedback and advice. So I'll be responding to that too once I get a minute to get to all those comments. But all of the feedback is much appreciated. Much appreciated. So
Awesome. That's awesome. All right, Extra Zero. What's up, Pop?
Yeah. So, as you guys know, who've been watching the show, I had a couple mishaps with figures. I had my Figma Samus came with a fucked up leg, and my dog ate my Takara Tomy Mall exclusive cassettes. Well, I got my replacements. Got to give a special shout out to the site that Pinkerton turned me on to. It's Xavier Cal Customs and Collectibles. Dude really took care of me. He sent me a 2-day return label and then shipped the Samus back to me with 2-day shipping. So I got that figure back on Monday. Really enjoying it. I also probably my favorite pickups of the week. Well, favorite pickup was probably that Zeta Toys Firefly, and then I also got the Planet X Pluto, which is the fall Cybertron Megatron. I'll be shipping Samus and Megatron off to Bobby to review tomorrow. And then as far as the collect side of things, touch base while I was on Figure Banging, for anybody that saw last Thursday. It's kind of a fun show, just me, Brian, and Ace. On the Connect side, I hooked up with Jason Young. Jason was in the chat last week.
Cool.
We got to talk about like third-party figures and like the importance of Apollyon. And like my Apollyon, I've never been able to get that damn orange plug out of the silencer. And Jason has a spare, and he's just shipping it my way, you know, for good karma. So shout out to that. He's a really good dude in the realm. If you want to chat up with me in the realm, Facebook name is James Jordan. You can find me here every Tuesday night. Twitter at The Original Zero, and on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, Extra Zero. If you want to play some games, if you saw Dust Mite's video, he's got an Xbox Live headset again. So we're looking to get a game night going. So we'd like to get something like that rolling in the realm.
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
Cool.
I gotta get everybody. I gotta get Dust. I gotta get everybody on PS4, man. Gotta get everybody.
I got PS4.
Yeah, I know what you do, but not
I have
everybody does.
PS4. That thing is
I'm getting
so
Monster
fun
Hunter
Blu-ray player.
and Dragon Ball this week on PS4. So
Nice. All
My
right.
PS4 is a glorified Blu-ray player.
That's what my PS3 was, but I'm actually playing the PS4, and now the Xbox. I'm just like, whatever. The 360 ruled the last gen, though. I will,
undeniably,
in my opinion. All right. Energon Addict. How are you,
Yo.
Pop? How was Collect and Connect for you this week?
I didn't really collect much the past week, believe it or not. I mean, it's hard to swallow, but I did connect, and I connected in a sort of a more meaningful fashion for me this time around. The realm might not know, but you guys know my grandmother passed last week, so I had fortunately had to go to Florida to to bury her and stuff. But aside from that, I got to see family that I hadn't seen in a long time, and I have younger cousins who turn out to be geeks and nerds, and they were kind of fascinated to see that their older cousin was into it. And I actually have a younger cousin who's 25 that works at Disney, and she actually works at Hollywood Studios, which is like, I guess the more Star Wars driven park for Disney. So she offered, because I think her boss had mentioned it. He said, hey, look, any family that wants to come to get away from, any morning that you guys might be doing, or just put a smile on your faces, come through. So me, my cousin Frankie, and my cousin Jennifer all decided to hit up Disney on Sunday. So we had nothing really going on with the family aside from us sitting around and, waiting for the wake to happen the following day, and so on and so forth. So we went to Disney, and it was dope. My cousin is like VIP over there, so we got like backdoor access to everything. They have something called the Launchpad, where it's almost like a Star Wars museum. Like when you walk in it, and they have like replicas of weapons and helmets and even vehicles. Supposedly these were like replicas from the actual movies. So they had speeder bikes and you name it, it was there. They took us backstage. I know this is more like for like kids and stuff, but it was kind of cool. We got to meet Chewbacca, and it was like a real like life-size Chewbacca. Guys, I took a little picture with me hugging him and like my leg in the air, like I'm falling for him or whatever. But got to meet Kylo Ren, and those guys, they, even though they know we're adults, they get into character so well. And like Kylo Ren, not at all. They're like, he's like sticking his finger in my face and saying I'm a disgrace to the First Order, and I'm looking at him like, dude, what do you want to do? Like, BB-8.
You're a
they have a
disgrace to my childhood.
Yeah. BB-8's there, and he talks back to you. I mean, you can't make sense of that droid lingo, but anything you say, he kind of, I guess there's somebody behind the scenes that's kind of like actually listening to you. What was cool was you saw a little kid came out of the room before we went in, and he's like, Mom, BB-8, did you see? He was talking to me. He knew what I was saying, Ma. Like, it was just cool to see that. And just the bonding with my cousins and talking about Star Wars.
Awesome.
it was just dope overall fucking experience, to be honest with you. So
that's pretty awesome, man. Especially, considering what you were down there for, it's nice to get a little bit of that escape and get away and have a good time with your family. Especially you didn't have the chance to see them for a long time.
Right.
So
right. I mean, my grandfather, I was more inclined to be around him because, he lost his wife, but he was the one pushing us to go. He was like, get out of here, go have fun, go hang out with your cousins. You don't get to see them. Just as long as you're here for everything else. And that's what we did. We had a great time.
It's cool.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, brother. That's awesome.
You know what I'd do though? Side topic, just for a little laugh. If I were there and Kylo Ren was all up in my face, I'd point over at Vader and be like, "See that over there? Pop hates you."
Nice. If people want to connect with you, where can they find you, brother?
Oh, I'm all over the place. I'm under your bed, in your closet,
in your dream,
in your wife's DM. I'm all over the place. If Energon Addict on Instagram, and you can catch me in a Facebook group, David Cologne.
Oh man, fucking love it. All right, G Money.
What's going on? Hey, so I'm going to do my connecting first, and it was just kind of cool. We were talking, I think, when we were just getting started, but did some connecting. Jason and Frogman, a lot of cool people just around the cars. Again, just interest outside of like the normal toy. Posted a picture today, just like I said, I was kind of thinking about Frank Castle driving home from work, and it was cool. I got probably like 8, 10, 12 pictures of people sharing their rides and stuff pretty quickly for that. So that's just neat to see, just the variety.
Nice.
The collecting piece, I adopted what feels like a small child. I've really sacrificed a lot of other things and recycled some stuff. But thanks, I really appreciate it. Eddie at Toy Dojo was able to get me the Hot Toys Avengers, the Hulkbuster. Yeah, the Hulkbuster.
Toys.
So I have this gigantic thing, in place. I haven't had a chance. I got out of the shipping box, and then my work schedule just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is so chaotic and getting on for tonight, so I haven't had a chance to open it yet. But so I've got that, so I'm pretty excited.
Can he get more of those?
Incredible.
I don't think so. In fact, I appreciate him. He was telling me that he didn't have them, and this was one he was going to keep for himself. But then basically, he was able to, he let it go just to kind of cover some stuff for the business. And same thing, it's huge. He put the corners on the box and taped it, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so I got it pretty quickly considering the size of the package. But so I'm looking forward to getting that open, and I got a separate display spot for it. I think kind of like on a pedestal all by itself. So
now Gary, there's
cool.
there's 3 rules that you have to follow when you have a Hulkbuster.
Okay.
You can't feed it after midnight. You gotta keep it away from direct sunlight, and you can't get it wet. Okay, just make sure you follow those 3 rules because you don't want to see what happens after that.
Monstrous.
Tears when that figure ever gets ruined.
Oh yeah, no, it's me cry. I think so. But yeah, and then
Nice.
I'm in the Facebook group probably more than anywhere else. So just Gary Allen there, and feel free to reach out and have a conversation and talk it up there.
Talk about Voltron.
About the fact that I don't own a Voltron.
It's
Apparently.
Oh.
And it's true. I literally don't have any Voltron in my collection. Like not the Playmates one that just came out at the stores, not the one I really want, the Soul Chogokin, not a KO.
What are you waiting for, dude?
I don't know. I think here's the thing. That Soul Chogokin one, right, got so pricey. I don't think I would enjoy it. And it was so expensive. I'm like, I might as well spend a little bit more and get the Hulkbuster. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know there's that other, the Madhouse Icarus one, and the KO and other stuff. So,
are you taking the bus with Jason L to the TFCon?
How so? What's that?
He's getting the bus where we're all gonna drive up to TFCon.
I thought that was for driving us around to get something to eat.
Because if you're coming, Gary, I know what I'm going to bring on the bus.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I think Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So
It's gonna be a long trip.
My buddy. My buddy.
Yeah. For myself, I didn't collect anything this week. But for connecting, like Gary said, same thing. Jason Y trying to, do his thing with the wellness challenge. Got to connect a little bit with Frogman78. Shout out to that dude. He finally jumped on the social media bandwagon and got himself a little Facebook account. He's one of the newest members of the realm. Always a fan of the show and stuff like that, and always watched and active in the chat. But he didn't do social media, and he's on Facebook now. So it was cool to be able to chat it up with him a little bit.
Yeah, and he won the giveaway last week. So if you're listening and not chatting, get in here.
Get in here.
Chat.
I feel you, Frogman, because talk about peer pressure. Getting into social media. These guys had got me into social media, which I did not want to do.
Yeah. It depends. Some people are more comfortable with it than others. And I think what we're doing here helps. Hopefully it helps people connect with others and maybe breaks them out of their shell a little bit if they're a little bit more to themselves or introverted. I was that type years ago, and look at me now, hanging out here with you guys every week with something that says live right there in the corner. I can't fucking believe it. This wasn't me 10, 12 years ago.
So
it's awesome. But if so that's it. As always, if you want to connect with me, Harrick and BX, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Xbox Live, and the PlayStation Network, and here with these guys every single week.
Tuesday.
I know, it's been stressful, what I'm saying? Because it's weigh-in week for the wellness challenge.
Yes,
so I'm always trying to make sure I'm freaking on point. You know what I'm saying? And that's the cool thing about this thing is that accountability. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, you want to be able to say, you did good or whatever, or at least, you put in that effort, So, on these weeks where, that pressure is on, I always try to do good. I think you know a little bit about that, G, right?
Yeah, so listen, Sunday is the next weigh-in for everybody in the competition, and we're getting real close to the 60-day mark, believe it or not. I feel like we were just talking about, hey, it's November and we're going to start December 1st.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's getting there. My commitment to everybody in the group is, we'll calculate the actual percentage loss, not just the raw kind of the gross weight, that I've been listing. But it's true, man. It's pressure, right? I think everybody sets goals for themselves. I kind of had a couple questions I'll post to the panel, which is, we all work in different environments. We're trying to make good choices, right? I always say that a lot. And, whether it be bringing your lunch, bringing your food, trying to eat clean, different levels, small choices, right? Drink water instead of soda, right? Or, drink the coffee black or drink tea instead of a freaking whipped cream covered Frappuccino, from Starbucks, some type of choice. But there's pressure sometimes, when food comes in, maybe you have a work event that's catered. So they bring in food. And then if you don't want to eat that particular, menu selection, people kind of look at you and judge you a certain way. So I'll post that question, what experiences you guys have. I'll just say for myself with my company, when I go to a regional meeting, which our regional office is located in Baltimore, I always picture that sequence. I'm going to mess up the quote, so don't get angry at me and don't hate mail me. But, in The Dark Knight, when the Joker's talking, he's like, listen, everybody does this and no one blinks an eye, right? And then this happens and everyone freaks out. It's I'll watch people come into this meeting with Chick-fil-A on a biscuit, right, at 8 a.m, and again a giant milkshake from Starbucks, and call it a coffee drink, and
so good.
easy Energon, right? But or they'll eat a bunch of donuts or whatever their choices are. And if I choose to go eat my generic meals, which you guys have seen me do at the different events, chicken and rice and green beans, it's freaking everything comes to a dead stop and everyone stares and looks. Exactly right. And then it turns into an explanation about why do you do that, and it's weird. I won't say it's judging, but it's a reverse kind of feeling that first of all, I don't need you to comment on what I'm eating because I'm not commenting on what you're eating. It's my choice. But second of all, I don't want to tell a story every time either. It's so I think there is a lot of pressure and some barriers there for us. So I'm just curious what type of challenges you guys have had coming out of the holidays and going into the new year, and how that's going for you for what you're trying to accomplish for yourselves.
Hey, real quick, the fact that this topic just came up and we got a newcomer in the chat. His handle's Chicken Fried Steak.
That sounds good too. Chicken fried steak.
I can go for some chicken fried steak.
I could go for that right now.
Absolutely.
Weighing is on something.
But Gary, I'll jump into this one because I hit you up about it this morning. Like, for instance, this kind of came up because we have 3 lunches this week at work that are being provided. Like, one is I don't know what the one tomorrow. Well, no, the one tomorrow is pizza. But like, yesterday and today we had lunch provided. It was like Italian subs, meatball subs, and like normally I wouldn't turn that stuff down, but you know, I just wasn't really hitting my goals. I had a hard time throughout the holidays. You know, touch base with you guys. I've got a family member that's ill, and I've been kind of put in a caretaker role part time. And you know, it's really hard to balance stress in your life sometimes, especially when there's an illness and you're dealing with the holidays. And it's like, oh, come on, you know, family's like, oh, come on over, I'll cook you dinner, or you're going to the hospital to see somebody, and you know, you don't have time to go and cook. So, you know, when you're balancing stress and holidays, it's difficult to prioritize, even though that's what you need to do. And, you know, the thing I said to you this morning was the irony is that when we're dealing with stress, the best way to treat it is to eat well and exercise. You're going to, at the end of the week, you're going to feel way better if you exercise and eat well versus I'm stressed out, I'm going to eat like shit. But, you know, there's mental gymnastics involved with that. Ultimately for me, what happened was I wasn't hitting my goals. You know, I in the challenge, I was like, man, I haven't been participating in the group as much. You know, I haven't you know, trimmed up as much as I wanted to. And I just did a whole big reevaluation. You know, obviously, you know, I've had a couple friends that have had health scares too. And, you know, there comes a day when you just have to do an evaluation on yourself and double check and say, I can feel better and I want to hit my goals. But it's, you know, it's really hard to pinpoint it and actually make it happen, because I feel like a lot of people, they're like, all right, I know I'm eating like shit and I know I'm not exercising, but I'm going to start next week. Now you start today.
Yep.
Yeah, I find that interesting. Like it's always, you know, I think when it comes to this, everybody's like, I'll start on Monday. You don't have to start on Monday. Like the next choice, your next choice is
start on Monday.
Start.
I got to start on Monday, Jose. I got to start on Monday.
You know what? That was me. I was always like, you know what? Let's start something. Let me start it beginning of the week.
And then you have a shitty day at work on Monday and you're like, man, I just want to go home and relax.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
it's easier to ease into it when you're like, if you're like on that Thursday, like, man, I haven't worked out all week. You go to the gym, so you go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday rolls around. You might have had a shitty day at work, but you're in that habit. You built that habit back up, and it's a matter of keeping that habit going. And it's probably an easier time to get into it now than it is next week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say like the way he said. You know, let's say Thursday. So late in the week. It's late in the week. It's Thursday. You know what I'm saying? One more work day to the weekend. But so that's 4 days that you could kind of get in a workout, do something before you're gonna start your work week. Like again, that's significant. You know.
Believe me, where I work, they always have lunch or people bring bagels for their birthday. So it's like, you know, it's always food at where I work. And it's like, what I found, like, from Gary's perspective, like not to be the attention, bringing in your own food, whether you're on a diet or stuff. I always found it easy to just, like, sometimes when they're bringing in sandwiches and stuff like that, typically they always have salads and stuff, like a salad plate and stuff like that. I would usually go and make myself a salad from that salad plate and just eat that. And so, like, I'm part of the group, but I'm not, because I'm not eating all the other junk that's on the table. Most times, even too, with sandwiches, I would just pull the meat inside the sandwich and not eat the bread. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like, you know, I would go for the ham or the turkey and just eat the turkey and not the bread or anything that's the fattening, you know, the stuff that you shouldn't be having when you're on a diet and stuff like that. So I always find alternatives, and when food comes in, you know, I'll typically do those alternatives. participate, but be smart about it. Like you can still eat healthy with other foods on the table, and not be like the guy who's bringing their separate lunch and then everybody's looking at you and just saying, "Who the hell are you?"
Who cares? Who cares if you bring your lunch? Like,
no. I agree with you, Gary. I agree with you.
I totally rock rolled you, Dave. I apologize. I have one question for Dom. Has that cooler even left the back of your truck yet?
I'm gonna get you.
What cooler?
The one I gave you.
Why do I need a cooler?
The one, you son of a bitch.
Obviously, Dom made meal prep.
You don't even know what to say.
Oh shit!
Wait! You're yelling at me when these two guys left it at fucking dust tank.
No, I have mine.
Oh, okay.
How do you got yours and I don't have mine? What the fuck? We both
Because
picked them
I
up
didn't
at the
forget
same
mine.
time.
You did.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So just to add, I brought my lunch today, and I ate it in the room with everybody. So I was part of the meeting and all. And all I simply did was I said, hey, I really appreciate. This morning I emailed my team lead. And I said, hey, I'm dieting right now, so please don't order lunch for me. And I sent him a note. I said, hey, Eric, I really appreciate you putting this lunch together, but I got to stick to my guns. And he said, no, thanks for letting me know. And it was simple as that.
Yeah, that's also.
He should have gave you the $8 that it would have fucking costed for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking box. Yo, Dom, I was gonna ask you, like, what do you do if they bring in donuts? You know how you say you take the meat out? Do you suck the jelly out the donut? or take the sprinkles off the top and just
Dave, why is it always you sucking something out of something?
I don't know, 'cause it's funny. All right. I totally agree with all you guys. I mean, they've been buying us lunch. I mean, we've had like snow days and shit, and they'll buy us lunch to substitute for us coming in, thank you. And, during the holidays, like a lot of companies that we deal with will accommodate us with lunch, as a thank you. And I find myself eating this shit because it's free. And I'm like, you know what? If I don't have to buy my lunch today, or I could save the lunch that I brought in for tomorrow, I'm going to eat it anyway. But I just won't OD because there's people that, they'll buy pizza and, you see people putting like 4 slices on their plate and walking back to their desk, I'll eat my 1 or 2 slices and I'll be like, all right, that's it.
He said 1 or 2.
Throw the crust away.
Dave, that's bullshit too, because you're like $8. That's like 1/8 of a figure art Star Wars. That's how you look at it.
And that's bullshit. You're carrying back a box to your desk, Dave. Come on.
Nah, Dom. Dom, you made me laugh when you said you're putting the salad on the plate that you'll eat that. I'll do the same thing, but you'll see me with the fucking the hamburger or whatever sandwich they put underneath the plate, so nobody sees the way back. Oh, how's your diet going? Oh, it's going great.
Oh, it's going great.
Dude, I'm guilty. I've done that in the past. I'm fucking guilty of that.
Yeah, I know. Listen, you roll it up in a paper napkin, you stuff it in your pocket.
That's right.
So you walk out just like that.
Does anybody have one of those employees that have like a barrel of fucking pretzels, a Costco fucking jar of like Raisinets?
Twizzlers.
Yeah.
I got a candy jar on my desk.
I hate that shit. Because you're trying to work hard. It's in the next cubicle, and they're always offering.
Thursday, I'm working from home tomorrow. Thursday, I'll show you a picture where I got to walk by every time I get to my desk.
Oh, it's just I hate that.
Yeah.
Surprise! I have a candy jar on my desk, but I don't pick from it. Surprisingly, I would think oh man, the temptation's there, but I purposely put candy in there that I don't like, so I won't eat it.
See, that's smart. That's smart.
That is smart.
How you do it.
That's why I don't get high before I go to work, because then all that shit just goes down, right?
Yeah, fucking candy corns out. Dave will eat it.
I'm in that position too, though, where people bring a lot of shit, to eat. Like we have sales reps that sponsor lunch and doctors that sponsor lunch. And I was telling the guys before it went live, we have a nurse that I don't know what kind of hookup that she has at Panera Bread, but every single Thursday she brings like a bowl full of bread and butter and brownies and
He's taking it out of the dumpster.
Like, it's probably it might be the stuff that they're probably gonna toss anyway, so they're just like maybe give it to her, like, what I'm saying, and she brings it in for everybody, which is cool. But again, the temptation is there, like to take it. And you know what, for me, like, I just use the portion principle, and as long as I'm within my hours, because I practice like intermittent fasting and stuff, as long as I portion what I'm eating and I'm within my hours, and I think like I'm usually good. It's just the chocolate and the fudge brownies and stuff, like that's what's the true weakness for me, because those it's so good, but those are empty calories. What I'm saying? If you eat a piece of bread, it's carbs, but your body needs carbs. Or like Dom said, like sometimes they'll have sandwiches and stuff like that brought, like even if you do eat that little bit of bread, again, if it's portioned, I feel like that's fine. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like you're eating chocolate or candy or whatever, because again, that's just sugar. That's empty. You're not getting any kind of nutritional benefits from that. So, and it's just basically that willpower. Like Extra said, he told his boy, you know what, like, I appreciate what you're doing, but I got to stick to my guns. And, I'm the same way. Like, Gary's in a unique position, I think, because he's already kind of deemed there and in shape, kind of like where we would all want to be, I think, ideally. But he works hard at it, and it's because he's dedicated, and I have a guy at work that's just like that. This dude is freaking diesel. He looks like he could be fucking, like a muscle and fitness like athlete or whatever.
That's how my
but it's that dedication. He brings his meals, but I'll see him pour a little bit of soda during those work events, or eat that bread or eat that candy. But obviously, like, he's dedicated to what he do that. You could pretty much, have what you want.
So it's funny, like, I can't stay up past fucking 10 o'clock. So really, because of everything I do, you guys make fun of you. But I'll just say this, because I'm not trying to make this like a food topic, right? But it takes a lot of confidence, right? And we do get pressure. And Dom, I give you a hard time, right? But even gestures that you think are the spirit, right, is the right way. Can be interpreted as like, well, what the fuck are you trying to tell me, right? It's like, hey, what are you trying to make? But I think being confident in that is the same thing in our collecting. I was just kind of curious because I think it transitions over.
Yeah, we talked about that this morning.
Yeah, right. So I'd just be curious how you guys feel in that, in the hobby, and the passion that you have for whether it be the cartoons that give you the feels. As you hear so often, or the stuff that you have in your collection, what kind of pressures have you felt for that, good or bad? I don't know. I think it's curious.
There's a lot of pressures when it comes to when you talk about toy collecting. I mean, people can you can kind of get pressure from your collecting peers on a specific line you may not collect. And you hear them talking about constantly, and you're like, "Oh man, these are great, these are awesome."
Oh, you're not in the doll life.
I'm so happy, And then it's not until you actually see it in person, and or maybe purchase your first one, and you realize what they were all talking about. So sometimes the peer pressure isn't so much like pressure where you're feeling forced into something, but it's almost like they're giving a little insight. Sometimes it's a little too much insight, and eventually you have to find out for yourself, And I find myself, that happens to me quite often, at least, in the past year or two. I mean, with you all in your different collecting habits, I collect a lot of different things, but my most recent one I would say is the Hot Toys line. And, we have guys like Chris and, Gary who've been buying them, for quite some time now. And, you see their impressive collections, and you see the joy that it brings them, and you kind of want to jump in, and that's what I did. And I got my first one from my wife for Christmas, and I got like 4 more pre-ordered. So that peer pressure hit me, and I sunk in. So
and after getting that one, like, you could definitely see, I could go down this path now. You know what I'm saying? Now that I have this and see what it's all about.
Once you go down that path, forever.
That's going down the rabbit hole.
It's all about getting that really good representation of a character. And like when someone's really passionate about a character that you're also really passionate about, they're like, oh my God, they're selling to you as the end all be all of a character. And, I know we keep bringing up Voltron, but that's like, I think like a lot of the hype with the Soul Chigokin one came from. It's like we all have fond memories of Voltron as a kid, right? So all this hype rolls in, something's hard to get. And, it's really easy to feel that pressure to hop on something because everybody's talking about it. Everybody likes it. And, you've always wanted a good representation of that character.
I had that feeling with regards to the Mezco Punisher because, I was debating on whether I was going to stay in Mezco, and then when that Punisher came out, it was like everybody talked about it. Everybody like said it was a great figure, and just the pictures that everybody was taking with him, it's just amazing. And then and that's when I kind of said, you know what, I'm just going to stay with Mezco and continue buying it because I bought the Batman's previous, and it's just. There was a big delay in Mezco in regards to what they were putting out, and then the Daredevil popped out, and the Punisher popped out, and that Punisher was just amazing, and it just got me back into it, and just from everybody, because I was going to say I'm not going to do Mezco, and then all of a sudden, just because that Punisher and how everybody was just talking about it and hyping it up, and all the pictures that were coming out, I was like, I think I got to get back in. So,
it's funny. If you guys watch The Simpsons, I think it was The Simpsons. I'm pretty sure it was Homer talking to Bart, and Homer's like, Bart, always give in to peer pressure. And Bart's like, always. Just kind of cracks me up. Funny, though, some of the things you guys are describing, it seems this is more like passive-aggressive peer pressure or perhaps peer pressure by example. Whereas when I think of peer pressure, you're in the locker room, and someone's handing you the tin of tobacco or whatever, do this, and
suck that dick, boy.
You were there, Brian. Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to call him Big Shoe Brink. So
is that it? Man, the names just keep piling up.
No, I see what you're saying, Brian. Because it's true. It's not like we have somebody, on our back, you need to get this. You better get this. You have to get this or you're not cool or whatever. But
yeah, Gary,
I think the pressure.
Gary, get your damn.
Hey, Gary, let's trade that Hulkbuster for my Soul Cheeto.
Okay.
I would not.
To be honest, when that Voltron came out, we all said to each other, if you want that Voltron, get that Voltron.
You know what?
You're so full of shit. No one said anything about that. Nobody said anything.
No, but I don't think we're talking to Gary that time.
That's why I bought it. I didn't need it.
And if this, listen, if I buy that
was early
Voltron,
2017. We weren't in Gary's ear yet.
No.
Exactly. And if I buy that Voltron, there are no topics, right, for this show for the next 3 weeks, right? And everyone in the chat is going to sober up really damn quick. So,
Yeah, I agree with Brian, though. I think it is a little bit of a passive thing because, again, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever is your preferred platform. You see pics, you see videos, you see reviews, you see people interacting in the community, and, you kind of see that stuff and you're like, man, you kind of feel that pressure. I remember, first kind of getting back into the hobby and, seeing all the third party stuff. And it's like, man, you got to have this, you got to have that. You're just buying everything in sight. And, and then there's always kind of that urgency, I don't feel it anymore. Definitely not. But I do remember that, what, I need to have this figure. So I get it. And, right away, because it just came out and I could, take my pictures and post it. And it's like, hey, I got it. Almost like if it is a status thing. You know what I'm saying? And it should never be about that.
Yeah,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Let me interject with one thing. When it comes to the food, the dieting and all, a lot of the outside pressure we get is judgment from others about what we're doing. So, it's interesting when you get into this sort of community and you see people posting the pictures and hyping up figures, and you finally find a group of people that accept what your hobby is socially. It's like you want to be in on it. You want to be included. You want to have that hot figure so you can be a big part of the conversation.
Yeah. I think that just comes in collecting, in the mentality of collecting anyway. If you're collecting something and you're in that same group, they're collecting pretty much the same kind of stuff you're collecting, 80s toys, whatever you want to call it. When they got that hot toy, you feel like, oh man, I want it. I want that tie too, and just keeping up with the hype and everything. So it can get overwhelming, and that it is not. It's not like anybody forcing you to go, hey, yeah, buy this toy, buy this toy, buy this toy. It's more of a like like Brian said, it's passive in regards to everybody has it, and you want to keep up, and you really want to have that hot toy that everybody's talking about.
Sometimes you don't have a choice though.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have a choice because you already might have started collecting a line, right? And like you said, Mezco, they dropped 4 Mezcos in December, right? Mm-hmm. And you already had them pre-ordered, right? So you were kind of forced to buy them because you knew you wanted them, and unfortunately, they came out at the same time. Mm-hmm. So you're that guy who had them first, but at the same token, like, did you need to spend fucking $400 or $500 in 1 month on one line?
Dude,
no,
Dave, I disagree with you though, because you do have a choice. Like, you don't have to fucking buy it. You know what I mean? You don't have to pre-order it. You don't have to have every single figure in the line, right? You can be, I don't know.
There's different. I mean, Gary, like, I get what you're saying, but like, I know Dom. He's a completionist.
I'm a completionist.
He can't stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he'll be like, it'll eat him up that he has the first 17 and number 18's out and he doesn't have it, and then he got number 20 and 21.
But here's the thing.
Missing.
I got a hole. Dave. I got a hole. I got to fill the hole.
So right? I guess I don't want to. Maybe it's a tangent, but what's going to happen if he doesn't have number 17?
Then
what's going to happen if I have Ramjet and Thrust, but I don't have Dirge?
Hey, Gary, you're sounding like my therapist, Gary. Stop it.
He's going to wind up in Kane, too.
Right? I'm just saying,
we'll be visiting him between the hours of 12 p.m. and 1:30 p.m.
JD, good. I'm sorry, JD. You just posted a freaking combiner with no arms, right?
I did.
So what happens if those arms don't come out, right? What's good? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jordan. I'm sorry.
Sell it.
Well, I was gonna say it's like, it's like I've got all 3 of those official seekers or the Conehead seekers, right? And it's like one of those things where it's kind of like I'm a completionist, but it's also kind of a self-conscious thing, because if you were to go in and like, you're a different type of collector, right? And I appreciate that your collection's focused. And I just, I can't function like that. But for me, there's like this subliminal thing in my mind that if I don't have Dirge, someone's going to say, you got to Thrust and Ramjet, where's Dirge? And I'm going to go, I didn't really want
That's important. Does that happen for every single line across everything that you collect, like across the board? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I don't feel like I have to be a completionist with the Masterpiece line. Like, I'm going to pick the characters I want. Like, I'm okay with just Starscream on the shelf. Like, do I want Thundercracker and Skywarp? Sure. But I'm not going to pay through the ass for them. You know what I'm saying? Especially if their prices are up there on the aftermarket. Like, I'll be fine with just Starscream. Like, I'm okay. And I guess it just comes down to the individual collector. If they'll be okay with it. Complete collection. You're
bringing up a good point, Jose, because like, what happens like they with Fans Toys Galvatron Sovereign, right? What about the people that slept on that and they're still waiting on that second release to drop? Because
that was me.
Yep,
it came out, it was hot, and us some of the guys who are inclined to buy the first option as soon as it comes out, we had it, right? Now everybody else that doesn't is kicking themselves in the ass saying, I hope they re-release the thing, or they're going to pay, aftermarket prices for it just to have it. Same thing with, unfortunately, we're going to bring up the same thing, Gary. I won't even say the name, but Jose, you bought that. You bought that when it dropped.
Speak of.
Right? You bought that when it dropped and said, look, I know this is a dope piece. Worst case scenario, I don't want it down the line. I know I'll get good money for it. But on the other hand, Gary said, you know what? I'll get that later. And we're in that boat that we are in today. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got some dudes that just have that mentality that they're going to say, you know what? I got to get it now, because if I don't get it, I may not ever get it.
Stop trying to pressure me. Stop trying to pressure me.
So much for being passive.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. And I know we spoke about it before, like, on the Hangouts and stuff like that. Like, where it's almost like you don't have to pre-order a figure nowadays, because it's like you just think it's going to be available, but now you're finding that just certain pieces just they sell out. So now you have to kind of be a little bit more savvy, on a piece like a SOC Voltron or any other piece that just might, an Apache, things like that a Sovereign, like you just brought up, Dave, that are not available anymore. Now you're either hoping for a re-release, and thankfully we got news we're going to re-release it, but sometimes you don't know what happens if there's no re-release and you miss out. What the fuck?
I'm going to bring up another point, I guess, that kind of, see what you guys think for that, because it's like there's so much stuff coming out. I think now, like when we said this, that's a great time to be collecting this type of stuff, right? Because there are so many options. So like, okay, so again, fucking Voltron, right? So I don't have it, but I have interest in other things, right? That came out.
Mhm.
And you know what? Guess what? I'll go to bed tonight and I'll go to sleep and I'll sleep soundly and I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll go about
Are
life.
you sure,
right?
Gary, that you're sleeping soundly?
Listen. Yeah,
Listen, you know what it is? I think in the back of his mind,
hit up his doctor.
he's like, I'm gonna get
I
Jose.
need
He's
an
gonna get
prescription.
Jose.
Yeah, I need to hear that.
So-
So like one thing real quick is like they're always going to be making for big characters. They're always going to be making bigger and well, not bigger, but they're always going to be making improved versions. Like when Bad Cube's Sun Surge came out, oh, how's Takara ever going to top that? Now I guess Sunstreaker is that's more of a subjective thing, but now it's like anybody that wasn't happy with the Takara Seekers. Make Toys just showed off they're doing super articulated cone heads now, and everybody was like, "Oh, Masterpiece Grimlock is too small." Well, Fans Toys comes out with Grinder, and now you can't get Grinder, but someone's going to come along and Giga Power's got their Grimlock coming out. Someone is always going to come along and fill that void for non-obscure characters. If you're a Valkyrie, a Macross collector, you might have some issues there getting like obscure jets, but for stuff like Transformers and Voltron, you're never really gonna, even Star Wars too, you're never gonna have that issue because they're gonna come out with a better version down the line.
Yeah.
Well, on the other side of that is they only do certain characters to begin with the Star Wars
Right.
stuff. So it's like, I want more aliens.
How long do you want to wait?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want more aliens, so I end up making them myself.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, like, are you willing to wait? Like, obviously, we don't have no choice, sometimes in the matter, we live life and stuff like that. But, it's hard sometimes to pass up because it's like, man, you want that piece now. You want to check it out. And, and depending on the means, you get it or you don't. And then you deal with the consequences of what happens if it sells out. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm glad I'm not that person that, like, I'm not that type that I feel like I'm a complete. It's weird. And I'm going to pose this question to you guys because I feel like I'm not a completionist when it comes to all things. But then sometimes I do feel that way. Like with this mainline generation stuff. And I know most people consider it trash. People don't collect Chug or whatever. But for some reason, I don't know why, and I can't explain it, I feel like a completionist when it comes to that stuff. But I don't feel like I have to be a completionist when it comes to SH Fig Arts or Masterpiece. And I don't know why that is. Like, I have to kind of like examine and kind of come to a conclusion. But what about you guys when it comes to that? Because Dave, you're a completionist, and Extra, you're probably a completionist. Like, how do you guys feel?
The funny thing is, I'm definitely a completionist. It's just the fact. The funny thing is that, like right now, I'm definitely collecting pressures in trying to go into that the shadow. What is it? The shadow collector. Is it collectibles?
Storm
collectibles.
The Street Fighter stuff.
With the Street Fighter and with the Mortal Kombat. Those figures look great. Like, I really enjoy the video games. That's part of my history and as a kid, and I would love to get those figures. But I know as myself as a completionist, do I really want to invest in that line and pick up those figures? And if they don't do all the ones I want, then I'm left out. Like, same thing with like Thundercats, like you talked about, Brian. So me knowing that I'm a completionist, sometimes I hesitate in going into lines that I know are not going to get, might not get completed, or I just might, just know that I'm not going to get all the figures that I want. And it's you knowing yourself as a collector. And if I try to break the mold in regards to being a completionist, and I think I've achieved that by my SH Figure Arts. Like, I talked to Dave. I was like, I got into SH Figure Arts because I said, you know what, I'll just collect the humans. Not the troopers and all that stuff. I had Black Series to fill the void in regards to all the troopers and stuff. But at least for the human characters, since Hasbro hasn't really made that leap in making a more digital face, and they will, but we're not, you know, we haven't seen it yet, and you know, these recent figures are coming out, and this next wave will have that example, and if it goes there, I might just back away from the SH figure arts, but I just don't know. But like, I told myself that, you know what, I won't complete the whole SH figure lines. I won't collect them all. I'll just get the humans and see if I can just be satisfied with that. But,
and I did the total opposite of what he just said. I said, I'll just get all the SH figure arts and fill in the holes with Black Series, and that's what I'm doing. But I mean, who's to say when done is done anyway? You know, we'll never know. I mean, essentially, if maybe a company like Mattel, like they stopped making the Thundercats, right?
Yeah,
and you know, a lot of us got screwed out with the rest of those guys. Somebody's eventually going to pick those up, but will they scale with the rest of them? Will they look as good as the other ones or better, for that matter? I mean, I jumped into the Mattel He-Man stuff, and then Super 7 took it over, right? I stopped. I couldn't keep up with it. You know what I mean? Because I'm collecting other lines, you know, and I felt like that wasn't as important, so I kind of pushed it to the side.
See, so it didn't matter to you. See, so you are a completionist when it comes to SH figure arts, but you felt like you didn't have to complete that He-Man.
Yeah, and it's also like it's what's obtainable too. Like, you know, if you start something a little later than most, you know, these toys have been out 6-7 years, and you're playing catch up, you're probably spending a lot more money than you're supposed to be spending, and eventually, you know, you're starting to decipher whether or not do I want just like a main cast? Do I want to jump into into more of the lore of it? And sometimes you get like a one-off character, and you're like, all right, well, I can't have that one if I don't have that one. So you wind up buying more. So you gotta know your limits, and that's one series that I didn't know my limits on. I started buying the She-Ra line, you know, those characters that came into the after the fact. And I was like, why did I do that? I said I was only going to get the fucking main cast, and I didn't listen to myself. But, you know, but sometimes it's just, you know, you go into these lulls like, you know, we have now where we're twiddling our fingers because not much is releasing, and you start jumping into other shit. And before you know it, you're 10, 15 figures in on a line that you may not finish.
See, so but Dave, for you though, like when it came to that He-Man stuff, like was there anything external that was pushing you to get those figures, or was it just your love of the franchise because you watched it as a kid?
I think I just saw somebody post a He-Man and a Skeletor, and I was like, holy shit, I didn't know they made them. That they look this good, you know. And then I'm like, all right, well, these dudes look good too, and now I can't have He-Man without Battle Cat, and I can't have He-Man without Orko or Ram Man. You know, and
so I think Dom said something really, really awesome, which is you have to know yourself, right? And that's in collecting, that's in food, that's in exercise, diet, relationships, right? That's just a confidence piece of who you are, because I hear you guys say you can't have this without that, and part of me is like, yeah, you can. It's gonna be okay. Like, it doesn't. It's fine. It's like, but again, everyone's different. You got to know yourself. And look, you can make fun of me. I'm that guy that will be more excited to get the blue Fans Toys Omega than to have the one from the cartoon. You know what I mean? Just for whatever reason, it appeals to me, right? For something. And I don't know. I think you're right. I think you kind of know yourself, and maybe sometimes that pressure comes from within too, you know, versus it being an external force for that. Like,
for me, it's like there's this ultimate end goal, this sense of satisfaction that I like have in the back of my mind, that having like a completed cast of something is going to attain on my shelf.
All right, hold on, Jordan. I have like a serious question though. Have you ever finished that with the line? Like, I don't know where Brian went, but like he might be a good example. With it,
Beast Wars.
Like the bat. Okay, no, that's cool. And did you get that feeling that you were looking for?
So I had the complete like showcast of Beast Wars when I was younger, and I just remember like when that shelf was complete, it brought me like this immense joy. I think the last one I got was like Tiger Hawk, and that was like I finished out my entire cast, and I was like, oh wow, you know, this was like a sight to behold. You know, I had like everybody from the show, and it's like I've always been trying to recapture that magic, and like with the
No, so there's that saying, right? Sometimes wanting something is more exciting than when you actually get it. Yep.
Mhm.
So I was just curious if you ever did get that feeling, because I hear a lot of people say, "I want this season, I want this shelf, I want this team," and it's like, okay, when you did it feel the way that you thought it would, or did you get it and like, all right, what's next? You know what I mean? And I think that's almost the pitfall, the pressure of collecting anything is like you're never satisfied.
Yeah.
There was another one too that was recent that I didn't think was going to give me the feels, but it did. Was when I got all 5 of those Walgreens exclusive metallic Rangers, and I put those in front of my SFC Megazord, and I was like, "This is a damn good feeling."
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's a great point, because I'm looking for that so to speak high. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I'm done. Like, this is complete.
Wait, Dave, what are you looking for again? Say it.
At the high. I said it. I mean, look.
Jesus,
I have an
crazy.
addictive personality. Look at the fucking name at the, whatever. But I'm looking for that, and I think that might be part of my problem. I'm admitting my issues, and that I don't have anything displayed. I say it once again, right? So I just have that end goal, like Zero said, that one day this is going to be in display and it's going to look fucking amazing when I do have it out. So I have to have them all. Because if I don't have them all, then it's not going to look as good.
So we have a cast member right now that was in that same predicament, and he had a vision. He had an end state goal, like what it's going to look like, and he's collecting. Putting them in boxes and bins and everything like that. And now he's putting them up. Brian, how do you feel? They're up, Brian. So how do you feel right now?
All right, so not everything's up, and that's factoring into how I feel. But for the most part, I've got teams of figures together, but there's so much more to go. And the thing is I'm running out of shelf space.
Now you're feeling that pressure now, right? You're feeling.
Well, you say you're on the brink.
Yeah, maybe. It's like,
didn't you just buy more shelves last week, Brian? Like, right? You added more. You said, right?
Yes. Now, granted, some of these first ones I haven't quite filled out all the way yet because I'm not sure how I want to display them, which is a challenge. But I'll be talking to you guys throughout the week, and you'll be like, "Oh, I got this," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I have that too," and it's still in a box somewhere, and I don't know where it's gonna go, and so I've got a lot of work to do here in the next month.
All right, so
to get ready for DTC, and dude, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to rotate. There's stuff that I don't want to let go.
So is there anything that you essentially like collected a lot of that now you're kicking yourself in the butt and saying, I don't need this anymore?
As I look at the shelf of primes, but no.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't opened up. I haven't opened up any of the Batman figures yet. So I'm curious to see how I'm gonna feel when they're all up there. But to answer your question more specifically, believe it or not, Masterpiece Decepticons, I never really wanted them.
Wow.
But, I was just going completionist, to at least finish season 1. And then when the Coneheads came out for a good price, maybe 7, I was like, maybe I'll go season 2, right? And we'll see. But I'm looking at them, and they're all the way over there. I'm always facing this way. I don't feel like turning around. And it's like, I think I made a mistake. I think I don't know if I want them. I don't know. We'll see.
I guess that answers it for you. But I was going to ask Dave. Do you think like you get that feeling of like the collection high, like from completing certain teams amongst Transformers? Like for me, I kind of got one when I had all 3 Insecticons on the shelf. When I got all 3 Coneheads, when I got all 3 Seekers, I guess like when I got all the Car Brothers and all the Lamborghini Brothers,
I think I developed too much of a tolerance, so my high hasn't got there yet. I just, and my problem is I keep jumping off different strains. You know what I'm saying? So like, Figwars,
Are we talking about
fucking
toys?
Hot Toys. Yeah, we're talking about and a John Lingo. So I have not got that completion feeling yet on any line that I've collected. So I'm not there yet.
Jordan, I feel like that's interesting though. You bring that up because that's, to me, that's almost could be considered like a short-term goal. Like, hey, I got all the Insecticons, or I got all the aerial bots. I think that feeling of completion, you can get that when you milestones like that. Like, I got all of these characters, but like I was gonna ask like earlier because Dave said, man, like that feeling you get, like, man, I feel like I want to be done. I want to be done with this line. I want to be done with that line. Brian was collecting Batman the animated series, and I think they're not producing anything else, and he almost has everything that he wants from that line. So he feels like that's complete. That's a level of satisfaction that you get. I was gonna ask you guys though, like, I think in most cases, is it really like our choice though to feel like a line or collection is complete? Because like, with Transformers Masterpiece, characters are still coming out. Third-party companies are still putting out characters. That's not complete yet if you want all your arc bots or all of season 1, season 2, or all, seasons 1 through 4. It's not complete. So we're still kind of waiting to reach that high when it comes to that. But, will we ever get there? Because will we ever get every character? You know what I'm saying? So the choice is not ours.
I think that's what makes Transformers satisfying, though, is even if you don't like JD, you got that Bruticus right now, and when you get those arms, that's probably going to be like a real dope feeling. I think the thing that makes Transformers, stand out from other lines is you do get that feeling short term, and for me at least, I think as long as I get all the season 1 and season 2 characters, including the combiners, I think if it suddenly dropped, or I couldn't afford to collect, or I had to take a break, I could walk away from it happy.
Yeah. See, for me, I don't really get the high of, I completed. The high for me comes more from the actual hunt, which
agreed.
kind of, looking back, I am sort of the completionist. But now that all the shit that Hasbro's doing, I don't want any of that stuff anymore. So that's going to kind of go away. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be out hunting for, 2 of everything that I buy, other than that's like maybe the Star Wars stuff. But as far as like completing, like say the Dinobots, the Fan Toys Dinobots, or as James said, the Insecticons, you know what I mean? For me, that's more of like, I just took a shit. I just stepped back. I made that. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it is for me. It's not, I don't really get the high from that. It's more of just going out and actually finding, holy shit, there's something new on the shelf.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You're talking about like your taste changing, like right there though. Before you were getting like all this Hasbro line stuff, and now you're saying you're not interested. But going from somebody that bought, what are you saying, 2 of everything, now you're not getting anything. Like, it's like in quality and what they're putting out. Like, was it like I'm done, like just no more? Like, I know Jordan was feeling that way too. Like he didn't even want to get that stuff away.
It was Christmas quality. Hey, let's jack the price up and we'll waffle the shit out of this. Use some cheaper plastic. We're gonna put these cheap ass stickers on it. I don't fucking want it anymore.
You guys are making me, I feel sad a little bit all of a sudden. I'm like, I don't have that completionist chase. But I will say, like your point, JD, I've said many times, for me, it's about the hunt. I think I'm always looking for that specific item though that gives me the feels the same way. So I guess we're talking the same thing. It's just I'm not completing a team or a group for it. But like I look at my Hot Toys, my Movieverse Deadpool that I freaking love, and every time I see it, I repose him, and I love looking at it. But I wouldn't have known that till I had it in hand to see it. You know what I mean? So I think it's the same thing. It's chasing that same feeling of just a little different.
The funny thing is I think I as a kid I was programmed to be a completist, because once whatever toy I got, I was we got those checklists, we got those those things
how they got
you. You were that kid, huh?
And you, like, when I got that checklist, I saw all the other toys that were out there, and I'm like, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. And the funny thing is, as a kid, I didn't get them all.
Yeah.
So now it's like I want to get them all, You know,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the mentality I have sometimes. And, you know, and I, as a collector and over the years that I've been collecting, I know I'm not going to break that. I'm not going to break that habit. But I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work for me. And the way I make
mom
it work,
and dad, I'm getting them all.
You know,
that's exactly how I was.
And the way I'm going to make it work for me is that before going into a line and collecting it, I take a step back and saying, do I think they're going to finish the line the way I want it to finish, or is this a line that I can collect and not really worry about them finishing it because, you know, it's so segregated. It's wide out and spread like Mezco. Mezco does everything from DC, Marvel, and, you know, horror. And it's like, I can collect and not worry if they stop at the end of the day. I don't get it. You know, I don't get the full Marvel, all the Marvel characters that I'm looking for, or all the DC characters I'm looking for. But at least I have them all, and the ones that they put out, and I'm okay with that. And it's just because it's a great toy, and I enjoy the toy line, and at the end of the day, I continue, and I'm full steam in the line. It's just that I know at the end of the day, if they don't finish certain things, and I don't have my team or whatever the case may be, at least I have all the ones that they did put out.
That's a good that you brought that up, because like with Mezco, that's one line that I don't feel I have to complete. I only buy what I like with those, and I know that they're smaller than Hot Toy. Right? Mezco. So I know that they're gonna fit, you know, in my collection, and I can mix them with, you know, Legends or whatever the case may be, and I don't have to complete them. You know, I'll just get the ones I like. So
and that's kind of the decision I made on Mezco. And I was like, you know what? Mezco is not that type of company it's completing a line. They just issue characters that they feel fit, and I felt like, you know what, I can collect this line and not feel as a completist because they're all over the place, and I'll be happy to get what they get, and whenever they do decide to stop, you know, I'll at least have what they put out.
Yeah, that's a line I feel like I could do that with too. Like, especially since like those type of figures never really met my sensibilities. Like, I never liked those type of figures with like real cloth clothes and stuff like that. Like, I like the action figure, sculpted molding, you know. But Mezco, you know, put out some great looking like releases where it's made me think twice. Like, damn, like I think I do want that piece. And I feel like I will probably be okay with just getting one or two pieces that I would really want, and not feel like I have to get everything.
And I had this discussion with Dave all the time when we're like, I'm making that leap into Hot Toys. Okay, fine. But then I'm trying to set barriers and say, you know, I'll just do Empire Strikes Back. But then we'll tee off on each other and say, you just can't do Empire. You need Jedi Luke. Why can't you do Jedi Luke? And part of it is fun, and it's, you know, it's always, the banter is there, and it's always great. But like, the thing is that I'm trying to set barriers. I'm trying not to be a completist, but you know what? Let me just be a completist on one movie, and be satisfied with that. And see what happens. But like, you know, there could be any day of the week. I'm like, you know what, Dave? I need that Jedi Luke.
It's like, I think Jake said he got one Mezco, right?
Yeah.
What made you get that one specific Mezco?
It is the Judge Dredd figure. Nobody really makes Judge Dredd. I have maybe two other Judge Dredd action figures, and that's it. I like Judge Dredd, and there's not much of it out there, and they made it, and so I'm like, you know what? I found it for a good price, and I'm like, mine.
Yep.
I am the law.
Yeah, a character like that, I think,
and like those horror figures.
It's not mainstream. Like, a character like that's not mainstream. You're not gonna go walk into a Toys R Us and find an action figure like that. Like, you're gonna find a Superman or a Batman. So you have to almost jump on a figure like that when they release.
And one-off figures are great too, because it's like you know, the Megazord and the figure that will not be named. It's like, those are nice one-off pieces in my collection.
Say it. They got to take a shot.
Oh, go Lion.
Go Lion.
Go Lion.
I'm keeping Gary away from Zero the next time we hook up.
Yeah.
Vehicles. Fuck you guys. I'm gonna find the vehicle team.
You know, he still goes by that name.
Vehicle
the vehicle team Voltron.
You said it.
Drink again.
Drink again.
Listen, small tips, fellas. Small tips.
No, I just said like I'm not completing anything yet. I will continue to buy any of the unique toys, Peruquil, the little canine, creatures that come
They
with.
never
Anyone
got
wants to
back
get
to me,
rid
by
of?
the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I never heard any. I tried myself just to see, but if anybody wants to, hit me up if you're
Hey.
not interested in keeping that. So
I got a question for you. How articulated is that thing?
it's articulated enough, like the
legs and the mouth.
Yeah.
maybe? Head.
yeah, I was gonna say the neck, the legs, and the mouth, and so.
You should buy one, JD.
Well, no, I'm just saying he wants multiples of these things. If he wanted to, I could take it apart and cast it.
Oh.
So then I can make as many as you want.
I have to think about that. I have to, and I could get them in all kinds of eccentric colors, maybe even, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I can dye. I can dye the plastic. If you want hot pink, we can make them hot pink.
And you can do it
I have to think about that.
Once you get a bunch of them, Gary, you can do a video montage and then just play "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Right. That's fine.
Sorry.
For all you audio listeners, Dom is doing the dance and all. that, so.
Now I got to Photoshop Dom with the Baja Men.
Yeah, the Baja
Yes.
Man. No, you do Gary with the Baja Man and then all the wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who let the
Featuring
dogs
Dom
out?
as he lays down a chair.
Sorry, I didn't
Yo,
mean to
Brian,
take that a different direction, but
How's the chat?
No.
it's just a thought.
The chat
appreciate
is
it.
going crazy, and poor chat Wingham is drunk off his brain because we
Is
keep saying Voltron. No, we got to stop saying Voltron.
Oh, that's two right there.
Yeah.
Shout out to True Star Screamer for starting that up, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, and speaking
Tuesday
of
night
two, hey Gary, look, they're multiplying. I just
Yeah.
See you growing.
You have one team as Lions? That's like...
because then the joke wouldn't have worked as well.
Oh.
I'm trying to do the cat. I don't want to transform lions, so. Yeah.
And see, and look, just for the people who don't know, I'm just gonna say I won't put your business out there. Brian and I live in the same state, and it happens to be one of the smallest states in our country. And yet I know why I'll never probably be invited to the Brinkalizers home because you'll have to pat me down before I leave.
Hey, just get a metal detector because it's full of diecast.
It's not me or Jose. You won't get patted down when you walk out. Don't worry about it. It's just the Puerto Rican.
This is easy.
All right, so why don't we run down this chat? Lots of people in here tonight. Thanks for coming and chatting it up. So I'm going to run through this. I'm going to put your names in a spreadsheet. So if you are out there listening and haven't chimed in yet, go ahead and do so.
Brian, real
And
quick, don't run. You might hurt yourself.
You got like 2 minutes.
All right.
Say
And-
hello.
And also, too, I don't know if you're out there listening, but Johnny Law, he was like, I said Johnny L. He's like, damn it, he didn't get me. So, dude, if you're listening, dude, we got you. So no worries.
We got you, brother. We got you.
All right, so here we go. A lot of people here. We got Primacon. We got Chat Wingham. Rob M was in here. Shout out to MPO1, still the best ever. I don't care what you say. E Prime 20. Sunday Heat. Rogue Wars in here. We got Josh F. Knight of Ren, who got me. He peer pressured me into a purchase tonight. Just as we were doing the show. We got Abraham was in here. Alexandre. BZ Fresh. Soundwave Will. Count Devon Strange the Fourth. And Sean S. We had Cliff B, new guy to the Facebook group as well. Rexbot was in here. Frogman78. Alex was in here. Dust Mites was in here chatting it up. He's thinking about going into Dull Life too.
Nice.
We got Dulcar Toys and Stuff. The True Star Screamer, Jason Y. By the way, Jason, you're out, man. You won already. But we got T-Man 978, Mark 44 Prime, Adrian is in here, Damn Plastic Crack, Retro Now, Chicken Fried Steak. And we had also
maybe I'll have some of that after my weigh-in this weekend.
and we had Greg for Mercy from SCU stop in.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
What's up, Greg? Bricks on the Dollar, Jedi Mindset, and I got this now. It's Jiraiya Sama 7. He corrected me
Bam.
on pronunciation. We got Riverbots, Lord Shadowkeeper, Lionel M, Eddie Chi, KJ Smith, Dare 2727, Ralph the Vendetta, and Jason L was in here as well. And let me just scroll down here to the bottom. Any stragglers?
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
No, thank you.
Damn.
Dope.
Yeah, that's
Hope
a
you
lot
had a
of
good
people.
time tonight.
And we
Yeah,
got
man.
Lance. Lance is in here.
Sneaking in there last minute.
All
And
right.
make sure you kill bots of smack. I like
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to
We
the
got-
3
Sir.
thumbs down too. Same
Yeah.
guys. 2 minutes into
We
the show.
got
Thank you.
three
We
dick
appreciate
taps
the
on the
support and
dislike
love.
button. But
We love it.
All right. Let's do the share screen.
Brian's gonna share his screen. He's got his spreadsheet ready.
let's see what he's brinkalizing.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm one of those guys. I'm trying to win this prize too.
Unfortunately,
He's chicken fried steak, Dave is.
How'd you know, man?
Awesome. We have 40 people up. That's awesome. I think we had 32 last week. So thank you guys for popping into the chat. We appreciate it.
All right, and I just took Jason Y out.
yeah, delete Lance in there too.
Put me in Lance's place.
Randomize them. Give them all a random number.
Randomize.
Oh, dude.
I think I don't want to. I think I'm gonna be.
We're spoiling them.
I'm gonna be one of the chat guys from now on.
Dave's like, I'm out. I quit.
I'm out.
I quit.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper this way.
Yo, your chances are better in the lottery. It's better than the Powerball. Trust
Right.
me.
Yeah,
All
a
right.
1 in 39 chance.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right.
Got Brian's magnificent Excel skills here.
All right, here we go.
Was it 39?
Randomize for us.
39.
We got 39 heads. Let's see who's going to be the lucky winner this week. Oh,
38.
38. I like that though. Like it's just that's true random. You know, it's like when you see the 1 or the 4.
Sorry,
Oh,
Lance.
thank God
Let's
it's
see.
not
So
Lance.
Lance,
Oh,
nope, you're out.
Lance.
Sorry, brother. Who is it?
Wait a minute.
Jason L.
Jason L.
What? Oh, y'all might think that this is Larry, but it's a different Jason L.
Oh, wow.
Oh well, it doesn't
it's not
matter.
Lowry?
Jason out. Yeah, you won.
And what did
So-
you win? Do you want to show? We will see.
Oh,
We got to show it the prizes.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
a
my
Super
God.
NES
Holy
classic.
shit.
Fucking
Damn.
guy.
God
Jason,
damn it.
Jason L. just hit me up on Dominic Grasso on the Facebook groups. I'm also a part of the Rental Collectors, so just go in, send me a message, send me your address, and I will ship it out to you tomorrow.
You lucky bastard.
Word.
Nice. Yeah.
That
I
is
have it. I
awesome.
have his
Dom,
address. He
thank
lives
you.
upstairs.
He lives upstairs. Okay.
It's with him in the attic.
And hey, just to be on the up and up. So it's weird. Lance was the last one in the chat, and Jason L was the second to last one in the chat. But when I check this list, it actually randomized like all the rest of them, but those last 2 guys. So hey, it's on the up and up, people. So just want to let you know.
Brian's legit.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to Jason for winning the Week 4 giveaway. Thank you for participating in the chat. Thank you to everybody in the chat that was watching the show and participated tonight. Thank you to everybody out there in the realm that got us over that 1K hump, 1,000 subscribers. We thank you so much. We did it in a couple of days once we sent out that call. So we really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. That's pretty much going to be our show for the week. But before we head out, remember to check out the website, realmofcollectors.com. Got a brand new blog section headed up by Paul C with submissions from members all throughout the realm. You could check out the archive photos from the spotlight on ETR. And we have merchandise available on the website. $13 will get you a pair of Rock branded shot glasses shipped anywhere in the continental U.S. $30 for the ROC Friends and Family t-shirt, and a cap or beanie of your choice featuring the brand new ROC logo for $20 shipped anywhere in the continental U.S. We always appreciate the love and support from the community. Shout out to friends of the show, Photography Crate on Instagram, Third Party Unlimited, and TF Prototype. Remember to check out Crashbox Customs on all your social media. Records, the latest album from Nathan Haskell, is available on his Bandcamp. Please remember to check that out. Facebook, where there's a group, Realm of Collectors, on Instagram at Realm of Collectors. This show, Breaking the Mold, is part of the Cool Table Network. So guys, please remember to pull up a chair. It's a hub for like-minded podcasts, including Enter the Realm, Plastic Fanatics, Shattercast Uncut, Toy Detox, Nerd Rage Radio, Beer and Bolsters 40K, Stasis Lock, 8 Weeks Building Up to It, the brand new Lego show, and Fresh Communications. And don't forget to check out Figure Bangin' every other Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. You could subscribe to all those other great podcasts on the Cool Table on iTunes, Google Play, and through the RSS feed on our website. You could send any feedback to this show to breakingthemoldcast@gmail.com. So that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to everybody listening. We are the ROC, so get to know us. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
So long.
See you guys.
Bye.